History has no pity for the man who chooses unwisely. No cheers, no forgiveness, just a quiet unraveling, slow and unyielding. By the time most men see their mistake, they're already mourning the death of their own promise. Not because they lacked strength, but because they let the wrong woman slip past the gates of their life, unaware she carried the spark of ruin. No one sounds the alarm. Your mother won't, your friends can't, and society, it thrives on your ignorance. But Machiavelli saw it. He understood that the fall of great men was rarely destiny. It was almost always a choice, a reckless one, a captivating one, a deceptive one. While today's world peddles men romantic fantasies, love, devotion, ride or die, Machiavelli offered something sharper. Truth. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, he wrote. Everyone sees what you seem to be. Few know what you truly are. Most men are swayed by appearances, but the wise man cuts through the veil. He looks past the allure, the figure, the charm. He examines her habits, her principles, her restraint, not when she's on stage, but when she thinks no one's looking. Here's the first harsh truth. There are only two kinds of women, constructive or corrosive. No gray areas, no she's evolving, no it's complex. She either amplifies your life or saps it. Subtly, steadily, entirely. And the brutal reality? Most women today have perfected the art of seeming constructive while acting destructively. They smile warmly while poisoning your focus. They applaud your drive while steering you off track. And you, if you're not vigilant, will call it love. This isn't about hate. It's about strategy. If you don't choose with clear-eyed precision, you'll bleed out while calling it devotion. Machiavelli warned, he who seeks to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived. A man who chooses based on beauty alone has already waved the white flag. He just hasn't felt the fallout yet. The real threat isn't the woman, it's your failure to see clearly. Beauty blinds the untrained man. In a world that teaches men to chase looks and ignore substance, it's no shock most kneel to what shines while bypassing what's solid. But Machiavelli didn't write for dreamers. He wrote for kings. A king never lets emotion, cloaked as opportunity, breach his fortress. A corrosive woman doesn't need to shout. She only needs to divert you from your purpose, your path, your code. She erodes your fire by demanding you justify it. She dilutes your discipline by calling it stubborn. Before you know it, you've swapped your crown for her ease. The wise man sees the illusion for what it is, an emotional blade hidden behind smiles and flattery. When he evaluates a woman, he doesn't ask, "Is she stunning?" He asks, "Can she stand beside my purpose without trying to steer it?" That's the test. Most men never ask it until their empire is already ash. Here's your next law. Never choose a woman who undermines masculine authority. Her sweet words when she wants something don't matter. Her beauty and address doesn't matter. If she competes with your leadership instead of supporting it, walk. If she questions your direction without insight, leave. If she sees your strength as a challenge rather than a shield, she's not your woman. She's a tempest masquerading as light. Machiavelli understood power. He knew those who fail to wield it become pawns to the forces they tried to tame. You think you can manage her drama. You think you can bargain for respect. You think love will fix it. It won't. Once you choose her, she holds the power you surrendered. You handed it over, wrapped in soft words like compromise, empathy, partnership. But Machiavelli knew what most men forget. It is far safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. This isn't about cruelty. It's about respect. A man who can't command his woman's respect will never hold her loyalty. A woman will test your boundaries to find your strength. If she finds none, she'll resent you for it. She won't leave. She'll linger just long enough to wreck you. Then she'll whisper, "You changed." No, you crumbled, and she saw it happen. You were taught that masculinity must always be gentle, that leadership must always be shared, that true strength lies in compromise, especially with women. But Machiavelli showed what happens when power is weakened. It vanishes. The moment you let your authority be debated, you've lost it. She won't respect a man who apologizes for leading. She may smile, she may nod, but deep down, she knows you stand for nothing. And once a woman senses your spine bends for her comfort, she loses all desire to stand with you. Even the most modern woman craves a man she cannot sway. This doesn't mean being harsh. It means being certain in your expectations, your vision, your boundaries. If she can shake you with tears, seduce you into submission, or argue her way out of accountability, you're not her man. You're her project, her pawn, her placeholder until a man with resolve arrives. Loyalty doesn't come from love. It comes from being a man who can't be swayed. Your third law, watch how she handles stillness. Any woman can be charming when she's entertained, when gifts flow, when your attention is endless. But watch her when the excitement fades. Does she foster calm, or does she spark chaos to feel alive? That's when her true character emerges. A woman who craves drama to feel something will ruin your future the moment life demands focus, patience, or discipline. You need a woman who thrives in quiet, not one who burns your kingdom down just because she's restless. Then there's the myth that her past doesn't matter, that you're insecure if you care. Machiavelli would scoff. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Her past is your future. A woman who betrayed others before you isn't starting fresh with you. She's refining her craft. If her history is chaos, her future with you won't be different. Don't ignore the red flags just because she smiles when she deceives. Next law, never tie your legacy to someone who mocks your mission. You're a man with purpose, or you should be. A man with purpose doesn't marry lust. He aligns with vision. If she disrespects your discipline, sneers at your ambition, or chases attention while dismissing your legacy, she's not your partner. She's your saboteur. A woman who can't handle stillness will crave disruption. When the spotlight dims, when gifts stop, when life steadies, she grows restless. Restlessness in a woman isn't benign. It's often the seed of betrayal, drama, and sabotage, cloaked in emotional spontaneity. Machiavelli called it what it is, an undisciplined soul, lethal to any man with a mission. If you ignore this, she won't destroy you loudly. She'll do it quietly, with subtle doubt, with emotional withdrawal when you prioritize your craft, with resentment when you don't indulge her chaos. And her past. You've been told it's irrelevant, but that's a lie to keep you blind. A woman who flits from man to man doesn't value depth, she craves novelty. A woman who's betrayed others doesn't need healing, she needs accountability. You're not her redeemer, you're not her fresh start, you're the next chapter in her pattern unless you set the boundary. Look at her actions, not her words. A woman who mocks your mission will one day mock your downfall and call it progress. Here's a truth no man wants to face, but every true man must follow. If she doesn't fear losing you, she'll never value you. A woman who believes you'll always stay, no matter what she says, no matter how little she contributes, will grow to disdain you. Why? Because what costs nothing is worth nothing. Machiavelli knew. Men should be either caressed or crushed. There's no middle ground. Women will do the same to you. If she can't lose you, she'll control you. If she fears losing you, she'll rise to meet your standards. This isn't about games. It's about holding frame. The man who can walk away always holds the power. No woman respects a man who trades that power for comfort. Stop rewarding disrespect with more effort. Stop begging for loyalty with desperate acts. Stop bending your spine to avoid solitude. Machiavelli didn't write for weak men. He wrote for kings. A king doesn't justify his worth. He protects it. He tests her. He chooses her based on standards, not emotions. He chooses her based on standards, not emotions. Your next commandment: choose a woman whose presence sharpens your discipline, not dulls it. The wrong woman will coax you to skip your work, mock your boundaries, and label your ambition excessive. She'll do it with a smile, call it love. But it's betrayal. A true woman, a constructive woman, doesn't beg you to stay soft. She challenges you to stay sharp. A woman who doesn't fear losing you will never truly value you. She may say she loves you, may even believe it, but without that tension, the awareness, you could leave. She'll drift into complacency or quiet contempt. That's why women test boundaries. It's not cruelty, it's confirmation. They want to know, is this man solid? Or is he just acting strong to keep me? If you waver, she knows. If you fold, she owns you. A man who can't walk away can't lead. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. Respect is rooted in fear, not of harm, but of consequence, of your absence. That fear keeps her anchored in reality, not fantasy. While others urge you to open up, Machiavelli would urge you to hone your edge. If a woman can stay in your life while defying your values, you're not her king, you're her fool. History is littered with fools who loved too softly and lost it all. Now, to the man who feels trapped, who hears this and thinks, it's too late, I chose wrong. It's not too late, but it will cost you your comfort, your pride, maybe your wealth, maybe years you'll never reclaim. Ask yourself, what's more costly, leaving now or fading slowly over the next 2 decades? The wrong woman will drain you, and when you're empty, she'll leave anyway. Not because she's evil, but because nature has no mercy for a man who refuses to lead himself. Machiavelli knew, people respect what they fear losing. If she doesn't fear losing you, it's because you taught her not to. That stops now. You're not here to be her emotional crutch, a sidekick in her story, a fixer of broken souls. You're here to build. Your creation will either be strengthened by her presence or torched by her nature. Most men don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they were taught their weakness is love. They call surrender kindness. They call silence harmony. They call self-betrayal devotion. But Machiavelli cut through the lies. A prince who is not himself wise cannot be wisely advised. If you're weak, you'll attract women who exploit it. You'll mistake their chaos for connection and call yourself unlucky when you're just undisciplined. The most dangerous lie a man tells himself is, she'll change. She won't. She'll adapt just enough to keep you tethered, then revert to the chaos that fuels her because you were never a man she followed, just one she controlled. You're not stuck. You're addicted. Addicted to the hope that this time will be different, that the next fight will bring clarity, that your patience, pain, and sacrifices will earn loyalty. They won't. When you choose the wrong woman, you've signed a losing contract. Every compromise to avoid conflict strips your authority. Every silenced truth to keep peace costs respect. Once she senses your life revolves around her approval, she'll reshape you into something smaller. Machiavelli didn't write for men seeking therapy. He wrote for men reclaiming their throne. Step 1. Admit you've surrendered. Then rise. Not for revenge, but for rebirth. The man you were is why she stayed. The man you must become is why she won't survive your future. Here's what no guru will tell you. No woman is your purpose. Your purpose is your mission, your discipline, your legacy. A woman can enhance it or erode it, but she can't replace it. Yet most men reverse this. They make her the mission. They orbit her emotions, chase her validation daily, and wonder why she loses respect. Women don't trust men who orbit them. They trust men who orbit their purpose. That's why the same woman who disrespects one man worships another. Not because she changed, but because the frame changed. The brutal lesson: never choose a woman who can't thrive without you. Want to know her truth? Step back. Vanish. Observe. Does she build or crumble when your attention fades? If she can't hold steady when you're not watching, she'll betray it when life tests you. Machiavelli taught kings to secure their cities, guard their borders. You're no different. Your energy is your stronghold. Your standards are your gates. Let the wrong woman in, and it won't be an attack. It'll be a slow rot from within. And here's what stings. Most men who fall knew she was wrong. They just lacked the courage to walk away. A man without a mission becomes a servant to his emotions and a slave to hers. When you place a woman at your life's center, she tests whether you were built to lead. She doesn't want to be your heir. She wants to feel your fire. Your absence is the ultimate measure. Not to play games, but to reveal her truth. Does she stay steady? Does she protect what you've built? Or does she seek validation elsewhere the moment your focus shifts? Most men avoid this test, fearing the answer. That fear keeps them loyal to a fantasy, not themselves. Your standards aren't demands, they're shields against manipulation, distraction, decline. Machiavelli warned kings to bar enemies from their gates, but modern men hand the keys to women they barely know, then cry betrayal when their peace burns. You're not just guarding your heart, you're guarding your legacy. The woman you choose either fortifies it or lays bricks for your ruin while resting in your arms. Why do men ignore every warning? They believe they're the exception. You think your love is unique. You think your patience will transform her. You think waiting will make her see your worth. She won't. You're not her father, her therapist, her God. You're a man, and a man's time is his life. Every moment spent trying to fix a woman who won't grow is a moment stolen from your future self. Machiavelli didn't sugarcoat it. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. If you stay with the wrong woman out of fear of starting over, you're not loyal. You're delaying your ruin. Here's what most men won't admit. You chose her. Through lust, loneliness, or low standards, you let her in. You ignored the signs, silenced your gut, and now you're paying the price. The suffering only persists if you keep lying to yourself. No woman ever ruined a man's life. He did that by choosing her. Unless you accept this, you'll repeat the cycle, blaming women, society, or luck when the real enemy is your refusal to raise your standards. Your downfall didn't start with her betrayal. It started when you refused to see her clearly. You excused the red flags, romanticized the chaos, told yourself she's just unique, when your soul screamed, "Get out." You stayed, not from strength, but from fear. Fear of restarting, of solitude, of admitting you poured your time, energy, and heart into someone unworthy. Machiavelli would say, he who allows himself to be deceived is already halfway conquered. You didn't just choose her, you protected her image. You defended her to friends, made excuses for her disrespect. Now the cost is your purpose. But here's the wake-up call. You don't need more signs. You need more self-respect. Every second spent justifying her presence is a second stolen from the man you could become. She didn't ruin you. She exposed you. The part of you still craving chaos, approval, potential. That version of you must die, because no queen follows a man who kneels to his own delusions. Here's the law that will either liberate you or chain you to chaos. You don't rise by being lucky with women. You rise by being relentless with your standards. The world won't cheer you for this. They'll mock you, call you harsh, controlling, toxic. Let them. A man who stands alone with peace is wealthier than one surrounded by chaos, disguised as love. If this stirred something in you, if the truth cut through your illusions, don't move on. Machiavelli didn't write for boys seeking comfort. He wrote for men ready to conquer. To conquer, you must see every woman you let into your life as either sharpening your blade or blunting it. There's no neutral woman, no harmless choice. She'll either fuel your mission or become the silent enemy within your walls. Choose like a king, not a beggar. Test her, challenge her, step back to see what emerges in your absence. Any woman can act right when you're watching. The real question, who is she when you're not? If she upholds your values without reward, you may have found something rare. But if she drifts when you stop chasing, she was never yours. Choose wisely, lead fiercely, and never forget. A man who fears losing a woman is already hers. A man who fears losing his purpose owns the world. If this video resonated, like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Synth. Thanks for watching.